Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jackson, Mississippi, with War in the Soul City. Tonight, we will be catching up with our coterie, the Dig Crew, and their investigations and/or complications that have been plaguing them over the last few nights. The solstice celebration for this winter season was rudely interrupted by our anarchs of the city. As a result of the different members of the anarch movement involved, Prince Marius Calhoun, first of his name, called for the blood hunt against the anarchs. Each and every one of them should be purged, unless they present themselves to him and offer a blood bond. Offer to be bloodbound. As a result, the Dig Crew has been searching high and low for these mysterious anarchs who have since gone quiet. Eerily quiet. Seem to be uniting under a single front, and the name Tyler rings through these streets. Some of our coterie is aware of what that name means, while others can only speculate. Among those who have bowed the knee to Prince Marius Calhoun is Ken Tanaka, a recent addition to the Dig Crew, as he is just a fledgling himself and has since denied the movement's methods, believing the Camarillas in the right at this point. But some complications have come up. Our Dig Crew finds themselves at a little bit of a conundrum. Malice, with his broodmate Mercy, went to the hospital where Don Manggini of the Hakata presides, running off with some bits and pieces of corpses. But before doing so, Malice reached into a corpse in front of a colleague and ate the heart in front of him. And now, Don Manggini has ordered Malice to take care of it, get rid of him, so as to seal this mistake of a masquerade breach before the prince gets wind. Or Malice and Mercy would be subject to lose their heads. And that is where we are picking up this evening. Malice, you have reached your vehicle outside of the hospital, having had Don Manggini leave you standing there on your own now. What do you do?
Oh, after having hung up with Mercy. I don't want to do it, but Malice is going to call Kenny.
Ken, where are you at this moment?
I forget where we left off. Was I coming back from the club? The armory?
I think so, based on that.
I know I went and
just
met
finished
Walter.
playing. Yep.
I'd probably be out and about from still meeting Walter, thinking about it.
Yes. Walter would have just said goodbye to you. You're making your way back to the Dolphin Hotel where the dig crew resides when you get that phone call.
Hello?
Hey, Kenny boy.
What is it, Malice? What can I do for you?
It's time to collect. I need you to need to meet in a spot, not at the house. So Malice can explain to Ken what is going on and what exactly it is that Malice is collecting on.
Okay, just let me know where to go.
I'm asking Coffee where that would be.
Or what would be like some neutral location?
A neutral meeting spot before we go to this guy's house, so Malice can explain the situation.
Oh yeah, that's you could meet up anywhere within the Camarilla territory and you'd be relatively safe.
Where are you right now, Ken?
I was on the way back to the hotel.
Fine, I'll meet you there. Go anywhere until I get there.
Is everything okay, Malice?
As I said, it's time to collect. I'll explain everything when I see you. And he hangs up.
Copy. Ken would just go to the hotel.
Malice, is there anything you do before arriving at the hotel?
Malice is gonna dip out to the little shed and see if Mercy's stash of weapons is still there.
You pop by, since it's on the way, to the little shack that you and Mercy have holed yourself up in. But it seems Mercy is not there, and her weapons are gone as well.
Son of a bitch. Alright. No, I got a few things at the hotel. Alright. Malice is close everything back up and head to the hotel.
Would any of the rest of the coterie be there?
Would anybody else in the coterie still be at the hotel?
Oh, I thought Moxie was saying something. Yeah.
Did it not register? I said
No, you were
possibly
still
Rodney.
you were still muted. Yeah,
Oof.
you could be as present or as not present as you like, because last episode I had Rodney hold away somewhere. Nobody knew where he was.
Probably in the hotel going through his shit. Right. So he's still at the hotel.
Yeah, sure. Dana will be there too, just for camaraderie.
Then the coterie is together. In their little bunker underneath the hotel, where they have a modest living room and closet-sized rooms of their own.
Evening, y'all.
Evening.
What's up,
You've been
Malice?
hiding, Rodney. Get to that in a minute.
Huh?
What are you up to tonight, Rodney?
Things and stuff. Things.
And stuff.
Yes. Yes.
What you doing tonight, Dana?
Arranging the murder of an old colleague.
Got more information on Freya then?
Still working it out. But rest assured, you'll end up getting exactly what you're here hoping for. And more.
I also take a little note out of his pocket with the address of the last place that he saw Urian and hand that to Dana. Oh, if she don't pan out, this was the last place I saw Urian.
Fantastic. Gives me a little something to do when trying to murder a gathering of crows. Always wanted to murder and murder.
Such a beautiful play on words, isn't it, Dana?
It is. It certainly is. But eyes continue to end up going back to my dear compatriot and trying not to remind herself of the stench and the... Ugh.
That's awful.
It in the corner. It in the corner talking about stuff and things. And things and stuff. Even its language is repulsive.
Malice will whisper to Dana, a little Vicks under your nose will cover up the stench. Not completely, but enough that you can stomach it.
I can assure you that my condition does not allow such things.
That's just an old
Out of character. Heightened senses is a bitch.
Yeah, it is. It'd really be that way,
I'm
though.
aware. Oh, I'm aware. I'm just sharing an old autopsy trick. A little bit of Vicks under the nose will help with most of it, and not all of it.
Ken will walk up to Rodney at some point while Malice and Dana are talking.
He is absolutely repulsive.
Rodney,
Yes.
in the next few days, I might need your help. I have an idea, but it could use your skill set. If you would be amenable to this.
I would need to know specifics first.
I'm going to plan an event in Anarch territory and try to gather information. I figure having you there, two of us would be easily to get out. Wouldn't have enough people there, then they can't exactly just do something without breaching the masquerade. And see if we can scare up some leads.
So, you want to walk into Anarch territory? Yes.
Yes, I'm going to.
Oh, okay.
With a lot of humans.
Sure. I guess I can assist you with that. But in return, I would like your assistance.
I think I might be tied up tonight, but I would gladly help you when I can.
See, there are two parts to our domain. There is the above ground that Liv does such a spectacular job of patrolling and shooting. And then there is the other part, the underground section. I would like your assistance in making sure that there is no markings leading into our territory in that area.
Excuse
Quite a
me.
lot of ground to cover.
Excuse me. Am I led to believe that a filthy urchin such as yourself is approaching a rose that just blossomed and want to flush it down a toilet in order to put it in amongst the shit and muck that you end up swallowing in on a nightly basis to scrounge around with the rats and other such filth that have rather remained unmentioned and scurry about in order to end up finding a few scratchings? I love
Yes.
this plan.
Manure will make that
Would
rose
you like to
bloom.
come too, Dana?
Of course not. That's why we have Kenny.
Need some help with this?
The more the merrier.
I'm not tonight, as Kenny said, but I'll do what I can.
Fantastic. Also, I appeared at Dana's doorstep the other evening, and a name was dropped. The name of Tyler. Any information that you all hear about this Tyler as you go by your nights, if you could pay attention to it, I would like to be sure of whether this person is within the city limits or not.
Anyone who knows who that name is, hair stands on the back of your neck.
Well, certainly so. Though I've already told Rodney everything I'm willing to tell at this exact moment, so I keep my mouth shut. I'm sure a welcome reprieve for Kenny Boy.
Can I roll to see what I know?
That would be an intelligence occult.
Yeah, mind if I do the same?
You may. Though, Ken, you're younger, so it might be pretty difficult for you.
With my dice roll, it's going to be impossible, but yes.
You can still try. You can certainly try.
5.
Mojo, stop counting successes. You roll dice. We know you win.
Of critical.
How many on a critical?
5.
5 on a critical. Malice, the hair on the back of your neck stands on end too. You have heard the name of Tyler the Bruja, founder of the Anarch movement, so they say. And that was at the beginning of the Camarilla, which you know for a fact is also very old. 13th century old. Some even say that Prince Marius Calhoun was present during the formation of the Camarilla.
How did you come by that name, Rodney?
Supposedly, it's been passed around Anarch circles of late. Mostly in regard to Baron Thresh. So, if we can find out whether this person is actually within the city limits, that would be fantastic. And if they are not, even better.
It's a big ask. And,
Just to keep ears open.
I understand that, but, you grasp the entirety of whom it is that you're asking about.
I know that they are a large deal.
Well, there's only a handful of those in the universe. Among them, taken with the severity of supernova, perhaps.
This is why I've asked for ears to be open where the name is concerned. Because with such a large name, simply the drop of it could give somebody, say, an in, and then at the same time, that person does not actually have to be here to have rumors spread. Instead,
Just the rumor of that name is enough to, upset some circles.
yes.
I'll definitely keep my ears about. You might want to make sure to let Liv and Mercy know as well.
Indeed. Indeed.
Malice is at this point going to go to his room with his bag, removing a few things, making sure a few things are stocked, and grabbing the few knives that he knows he has. Gifts from Mercy. Yes.
Ken would probably
He
go
walks
dress.
away.
Oh, sorry.
As he walks away, he's going to look to Kenny. You coming?
Yeah, while Malice is doing that, Ken would go dress down into something dark. A hoodie and some sweats or something like that.
Even
And,
your hoodie and sweats, though, are a little nice. They're kind
They're
of
very
plush.
nice.
With Nike
Yeah.
logos on them. Mint.
Malice will switch his clothes as well. Switch out of the hospital scrubs. There's something. Still looks nice. It's still fine clothing like what Kenny would wear, but it's dark. It'll hide the blood better. He's going to switch into a short sleeve black suede shirt, black pants, change his shoes. Maybe
Ken
grab a
would
hoodie.
also grab his backpack, which has all of the things he would ever need in it.
Is something happening?
Alice is in his room doing all this.
Ken
Yeah, something is happening.
He's standing out there, probably waiting for Malice. Malice needs help with something. I'm not sure what, but that's the reason I can't help you tonight.
That requires you to dress in all black.
I figured it's safe if we're doing something at night. It's an old habit of mine.
I see.
Before Malice heads out the door, he'll grab his black slip up face mask that hangs that he wears around his neck. That he can just slide up and down. But under his neck, under the hood, his hoodie, and grab his bag.
So, Malice and Ken, dressed for the night, depart the little safe place under the hotel and go about their business for the night, which leaves Dana and Rodney present at the hotel for the moment.
That was something.
Well, this should just be pleasant. So what's on your mind, Rodney?
A variety of things. What's on yours?
Concern. Concern with the... Well, how shall I end up putting this kindly? At this exact moment, what we have here is a cavalcade of information seekers, socialites. And our only combatant is tied to the front lines of patrols in hopes to end up having some desperate anarch to end up going within her crosshairs. I don't like the waiting. I don't like the information passing. I'm a doer. And yet I find myself with my hands tied at this exact moment. I feel like a caged animal. Majestic, sure, to the viewers, but behind the bars, all I want to do is sink my teeth into something, tear it to bits, watch its vitals cascade along the air, moonlight. It seems a better use of my time.
Poetic as usual. Perhaps. Feet on the ground is what you need.
I miss being on the ground. Truthfully, Rodney, I spend so much time trying to play at court, to dance the dance that every rose is expected to in the showcase of balls, ballet, in song, dance, painting, word choice, and social wit. Truth of the matter is the way I'm used to handling things is far more straightforward. But were I to go to my natural instincts, I find all too frequent that, well, the court disapproves of such things. I need to end up finding a lead, a place to start looking for my adversaries. And when I end up finding them, I need a way to be sure to deal with them. Unlike the Akata, who have a penchant for that form of violence, my own line has a tendency of trying to be more majestic, more soft-spoken, which doesn't really do me any favors, to be truth be told. Instead, it's a frustration. So, at this point, I am simply seeking an outlet and trying to end up showcasing that I might be able to contribute in some small way to this coterie. After all, I have placed more accurately, I have managed to end up making inroads in court to end up gaining us the support we require in this domain. Namely, the prince's line, Kyle Calhoun, is now part of the coterie who is directly behind us in the lines. and their coterie has now just ended up being enlisted as a potential for being the keeper of Elysium, allowing us a track to end up knowing what's going on in Elysia without having to actually go there, be able to get the logistical support required, be able to end up currying favor within the court itself, and overall end up being a shining example as what neonates should be amongst the capes. So after all that, I'm starting to get a little bored.
Yes. I find when I start to get bored, taking a walk is helpful.
Just aimlessly wandering in the dark under the night sky.
Not always aimlessly.
I'll take it under suggestion. Perhaps I can learn something from one as wonderfully repugnant such as yourself.
It comes with its own benefit. You learn to remain unseen.
No doubt, most of the time, people are trying to forget that they have.
That's why we don't let ourselves be seen. Unless we have to.
You
Yes.
reminded me of an old colleague who praised himself as a master of stealth. And then, when I observed his actions, he was invisible, as he walked around with a bloody sledgehammer, and when the guard at the toll ended up calling him over and was about to call for backup, he simply looked at the individual and screamed at the top of his lungs, "You don't see me!" To which the guard then ended up sitting down and continued to read a magazine. The faint smell of urine ended up crossing the night sky, and he continued on, without so much as a peep.
If only it was so simple.
Well, I'm sure many young children, upon looking at your visage, has gouged their eyes out with rusty spoons and thanked God for the invention.
I can happily say that has never happened.
That you'll confess.
No. But Dana, what is it that you wish to do? Truly.
Is this you trying to appeal to a sense of camaraderie with me, Rodney?
If I'm being honest.
It would be a first time.
If I'm being honest, it would be more as a sense of how do we aim you?
Me. You know, my beloved sire once ended up trying to do that, and that is ultimately the reason he embraced me, was because he found it incredibly difficult to do so. A wild card, a thing that goes against the grain with all this pretentious fuckery and flowery language, and people trying to end up pretending as though they ended up giving a flying fuck about what the hell was going on, but in reality, most of them were just passing gas and smelling it to call it roses. It was their own potpourri wallowing in their own shit, and I really didn't give two flying fucks about it. Give me a chance to end up smashing heads. Give me a chance to end up getting in it with the boys. Give me a chance to end up being able to end up having a night out and having Fear Factory pairing in the background while we end up jumping into the fray and just going fucking wild. That's what I was about. And instead, I have to speak like this, being poetic in language and in flavor, because this is what is expected. So I'll play the roles, I'll play the masks, and that's what I do. I slip from one mask to another, whatever the situation calls for, in whatever state it calls for. Because, believe it or not, if the Anarchs had one thing right, is that at the very least I got to be my own person.
Mm.
So it's kind of hard to aim something that ultimately doesn't give two shits about direction. I do it just enough to end up seeing that I'll end up being able to get by the next night. And I get that that's a really hard thing for a lot of you capes to digest. But since it's just you and me, Rodney, talking, I don't mind sharing it. I will do my job and help this shit in a hill tower to continue kicking because right now it's in my best interest. I have no interest in going back to the Anarch movement. You can rest assured on that one. What I do have an interest in is continuing on to the next night and the night after that and try and end up living my eternity without being bored to fucking tears. That would be a nice change of pace. But reality, you ever have the feeling like the entire world has gone to shit and so you really want for nothing? Not because you don't actually want it, but because you just know it's going to come with so many strings that it's just not worth it anymore. Kind of gave up on eternity.
I can't really say that I have. But perhaps something similar.
Something similar.
Mm.
Right now, Rodney, to your point, I want to end up making sure that this coterie is in a very solid state. I like the idea of me being able to step out those doors right now and just go hunting. I like the idea of me being able to, with very little effort, being able to feed and just enjoy my night. I enjoy watching the stage shows. I enjoy watching the plays. I enjoy the little dramas as I end up finding out that the new boyfriend found out that his little snuggle bunny was actually already married and with two kids, and they show up at the bar and the confrontation ensues. And maybe I don't mind being the person who gave the call to let him know what was happening because I just wanted the stage show. I can do an entire eternity of that. Right now, I gotta pretend like I'm down to business. And business is boring. And I want a little bit of excitement. There's a sick part of me that kind of ends up still reminding myself that my night is a little bit better after having a friend press their face into kerosene and light the damn thing. Even when I'm running away, even afterwards, I end up thinking, oh, if the beast got the better of me, I still smile a little bit because at least I got to run.
Poor
Right
Trevor.
now, right now, the Anarchs are just going to threaten my eternity. So I'm going to play to that. I'm going to play to the Cammy's rules. I'm going to end up helping you all out to the best of my capability so long as I'm in the know. But I'll be honest, I'm still not set on Kenny Boy, but I know that he seems to be definitely is somebody to be leaned into. He hasn't grown his thorns out yet. Too eager to please be a wallflower. I'd rather just be a briar patch. It's safer that way.
Safer. Yes.
You say it yourself, you hide from everybody. It's not much different.
I think on that you and I can see eye to eye.
Please don't suggest that ever again. I already have a hard enough time trying to end up looking in your general direction. I'm just grateful that the air doesn't have any actual wind flow in this room, otherwise I'd be standing very much upwind. You revolt me in every way possible, Rodney. But at the very least, I can be honest about it. And I can also understand it. I'm not so naive. What you are on the outside, you know what they ended up saying about Clan Nosferatu amongst the Toreador? They're on the outside what all of us are on the inside. And that's why they most really don't like you. Because they gotta end up reminding themselves that they're really monsters. I came to grips with that a while back. At this point, I'm just trying to see on how much material I have before I run out, and then I get bored.
That seems to be your major problem.
Yes, it is. Man, you worry if people will see you, right? Okay. You seem fairly young for a cape. Would that be fair?
Reasonably so.
Okay, you seen the movie The Matrix?
No.
Do you know what I mean when I say slow motion? That film
Yes.
technique?
Yes.
I want you to try and imagine that you had to live like that. Everything was in bullet time. That's slow motion. Now try and imagine you can hear everything, you can smell everything, you can see everything. And every second is like a day going by. For you, the conversation has been 5 minutes. For me, it has been 5 years. I've already counted how many pores that still remain on your face. 84,362, by the way. I've been so bored with this conversation, I counted them out of boredom.
I feel bad for you.
As do I. I have to be in the same room with that stench for the past 5 years.
I feel bad that you have to live subjective living in that state. And knowing that you're going to be in that state for eternity.
Wait until Kenny catches up. See, Kenny's still at that in-between stage where he hasn't really caught on to how we live. It hasn't really sunk in why it is we do what we do. At least with you, I know exactly why you do it. Which is good. We understand each other a little bit better. Just a tiny bit. What No Rose wants to admit is that we grow a lot stronger in shit. That's why I keep you around.
All right. Well, I shan't make you deal with this conversation for another 5 years.
I appreciate that. Now, again, back to the root. Is there anything in particular you need from me right now, Rodney?
Perhaps not at this moment.
Good. Keep your mouth shut about me to the rest, and we won't have any problems.
That was never an issue.
Well, you're the one who says you go unseen. I'll take your advice. Who knows? Maybe you just sold me out to the Anarchs, and once I'm out, I'll no longer be your problem. But don't worry, I have contingencies for that too.
I expect as much.
Good. Because if you didn't, I would presume that we weren't operating on the same mutual respect I thought we had for each other.
That's a stretch for a word, isn't it? Respect.
It's so much fun.
Take a walk, Dana. Entertain yourself. And perhaps, once I've completed my night, we'll have more for you to entertain yourself with.
Good. You really don't want to see me when I'm bored. Then I gotta get creative. Green is not a creative color.
And with that, we're gonna switch gears. As our Hecata friend, Malice, is going down the roads with lovely little Ken. So, the two of you are in Malice's car, driving down the streets of this Soul City, taking in the sights, taking in the different things. What and where are you going to do?
Well, as we get into the car and start driving, Malice is going to reach into the glove box and pull out a Ziploc bag that's full of medical gloves, black nitrile, and tell Kenny to grab a set.
I'll grab them and I'll put them on. Okay, Malice.
You don't have to have them on right now, but whatever. So, like I said, it's time to collect. Need your assistance this evening. Got to remove somebody. I can't get a hold of Mercy, so it's down to you.
Remove them how?
Are you really this dense?
I was afraid you were going to say something like that. Do they at least deserve it?
If I don't remove them, they're going to remove me. You catch my drift?
Well, I don't like this. I do owe you. So, I owe you a lot.
Malice threw his bag in the back seat. He'll tell Kenny to reach in and take one of the knives. May need it.
Okay. It's been a while, but where are we going, to this person's house?
Else.
I might be able to get us in quietly.
Well, like I said, you may need it. I don't know who is or who isn't watching. And as Malice says this, Oblivion Sight.
Oblivion sights. Your eyes glaze over in blackness, nothingness, as you reach into your powers of oblivion to see in the dark and things that are unseen. So, what are you intending to do aside from just see in the dark?
Trying to see if there's anybody hiding around his house or following us, trying to obfuscate their way along and follow.
That's going to be a wits awareness.
Four critical.
How many on a critical?
Four.
4 on a critical. Okay. You. I can hear music in the background. I'm sorry. I.
I apologize.
And so your eyes go black and you peer around the the apartment building that your colleague seems to call home. It's not great to look at. Can you find this place wretched? This may be a part of town that used to be, fairly upscale, but any native of Jackson, Mississippi will know that the city itself has been in decline over the last few years. The gangs of the city are starting to get a little bit more active. The streets of this area are painted with a few, but not many, pieces of graffiti. The thought that a colleague of Malice, of all people, would be living in this place seems almost absurd to you. This isn't even great living. This is mediocre at best. The epitome of mediocrity. And you can't help but feel a bit distracted by it. You are suffering from your clan bane.
Okay.
So you're at a penalty to use any disciplines while distracted in this way. It is not great to look at. The streets are ramshackle. It's ordinary. Slightly worse than ordinary, even. With some of the graffiti around this place. You're kind of on the south side of the city. You're kind of getting into Spencer Quinn's territory, where you know that he roams. You're fairly close to a major highway as well. It's here you are.
You said this is pretty run down area of town. Alice is going to look around and make sure there's no cameras, ATMs, street cameras, security on the house.
It's not a house. It's an apartment building. It's an apartment complex that you've entered, and there doesn't seem to be much in the way of security. There are floodlights on the sides of the building, to light up some of the darker areas of the parking lot and the yards. There's light poles. It's pretty well lit for a fairly ordinary ungated apartment complex. But so far as cameras go, you don't really see much in the way of that at all.
What apartment number was it? I remember.
Yeah, you remember what apartment number it is. You would know that that is a third floor apartment on this building.
Okay. Is there a fire escape?
There are stairs going up the different floors. They're made of metal. There's the railing. You can see a different resident start to go up that stairs, and from what you can tell, it looks a little rickety. Not like it's gonna collapse kind of rickety, but that it might make some noise.
Malice will go up as quietly as he can.
Yeah, Ken will as well. He'll put his hood up and
Then I would like
try to be as nondescript as he could.
Then I would like both of you. Now, are you attempting to move quietly, or are you attempting to look like residents?
I'm attempting to just move quietly. I'm not even going to pretend I'm a resident here.
Okay.
Yeah.
If that's the same for both of you,
Just
then
like I'm going to see a friend.
Then for both of you, now that's a difference, Malice, thing, because if you're looking like you're some ordinary person who's supposed to be here, that's going to be a composure stealth. If you're aiming to sneak into the place, that's going to be a dexterity stealth.
I'm at the moment just trying to blend in and not look out of place. Like I'm just here to see somebody.
That you're supposed to be here. Okay, then that's
Yes.
a composure stealth for both of you.
For me.
How many?
4.
4. Okay.
3 for me.
3 and 4. Okay. So far as you know, you seem like people who should be here. People who should be climbing up these stairs. People who are nondescript. You feel pretty confident about your nondescriptness. Ish. Given Ken's a fairly good-looking fellow.
Flashy clothes.
The
Keep an
Nike
eye
symbols
out,
might give him away.
Keeping an eye out, making sure that nobody's really scoping us out or looking too closely.
No, based on now, have you turned off Oblivion Sight because your eyes are still black scleras right now?
No.
So you look like an ordinary person who's got black scleras on? Because that might turn some heads.
Unless there's somebody looking right at my eyes, my eyes are so dark that the pupils blend into them. Might be wearing a pair of sunglasses at night. That's going to draw attention. Some
I
attention,
was
but
under the impression it's a complete black sclera.
no. The iris, not the sclera. The iris turns completely black. Not the
Okay.
sclera.
I thought it was the whole thing. My bad.
Mm-mm. That's all right. No, I understand. No, it's just
I
the
will.
pupils.
I'll have to double check on that and get an exact ruling. But, uh, so just an ordinary person walking up the stairs. An ordinary two people walking up the stairs.
Like I said, trying to keep an eye out, making sure that
Yeah,
nobody's.
based on your wits awareness, you're pretty confident and pretty well aware of anyone who maybe gives you a second glance. But you're also confident in your ability to, kind of blend in and shrug it off, that you don't draw any unwanted attention in that regard, except, the one person who had come up the stairs before is just unlocking their door, and they kind of maybe give you a second glance, but then go back to their door and go into their apartment as if they didn't care.
They on the third floor.
No, they're on the second.
Okay. As we get to the landing, going up to the third floor,
Mm-hmm.
Alice, as he's walking up the stairs, will reach under and then slide up the face mask.
Okay.
Ken will take out a bandana and tie it on his face.
Okay. Noted. And what do you do?
This is
I continue making my way up to the third floor to his door.
this is the door.
Yeah.
Watch, keep a watch out for me. I'm going to try to get us in.
Malice will scout the area, making sure that we're still haven't raised too many eyebrows, alerted anybody to our presence, and that we're doing anything that we shouldn't be doing.
And Ken will get out a set of lockpicks and go at the door.
Okay, then I'm gonna need a
Product of a ill-gotten youth.
Of course. I'm gonna need you to do me a dexterity larceny.
And you know what? I will. It's dangerous, but I'm going to rouse the blood for this.
Go for it.
Do I have to do that before or after?
Either way, you don't add
Okay.
the hunger until after you've rolled anyway.
Okay. I will spend the willpower to re-roll that as well.
Okay. So that's 3,
Yeah, 3 successes.
which you're able to kind of work your lockpicks in, and slyly get the door to unlock. But the thing you forgot is that there is a deadbolt also on the other side. So when you go to open the handle and push it in, you're stopped by a deadbolt.
Well, I tried, Malice. We might need to knock. Unless you can think of a way to get rid of a deadbolt.
Are you telling me that your skills do not extend to being able to a deadbolt?
Can I get the deadbolt?
There's no lock on this side with the deadbolt.
Yeah.
It's on. Oh, okay.
It's a flat face on this side for the deadbolt, and the lock is turned on the other side. It's an indoor only deadbolt.
I gotcha. Okay. Oh shit.
What do
We
you
could
do?
just push it in. It might make a little noise, but
Alice is gonna knock. What is my coworker's name?
Oh, I forgot what name
I
I
think we
gave
ever
him. I'm
decided.
sorry.
It's okay.
We'll call him David.
David. I'll knock on David's door.
I think we gave him a name, but I've long forgot it.
I don't remember either. That's why I asked.
That's fair enough. And so you call out his name. Silence.
Look around. Anybody else? Looking around, poking their head out. Looking.
Not as far as you can tell. There's no windows on the interior of the hallway. So if people are poking their head out, they'd have to go through their door.
Okay.
There's only
Quick
windows on the
glances.
exterior of the building.
Okay. With a quick glance, is his car in a lot?
Yeah, his car's there.
Alright, kick the door in.
oh, okay.
That's going to be a strength athletics.
Thank you. Three. 5 critical.
5 on a critical. Is it messy?
Oh no, thankfully.
No.
That's a 9, not a 10.
All right. So with a very strong and swift kick to the right position of the door, you, with one kick, the door swings open, the door frame splinters, the door itself splinters, and the deadbolt that was in place of where this now splintering is happening is now flung across the room into a dark apartment. Splinters scattered everywhere. The door swings and hits the wall on the other side, making a kind of loud crashing sound. And you're in.
Alice will be putting on gloves and then picking up the door to kind of prop it in position. I didn't mean to rip the motherfucker off the hinges.
Yeah, this door is full on busted.
Ken would just go in and start searching for anybody.
Ken, make me a wits awareness then.
Two successes.
You hear it's strange. Who uses a ticking clock anymore?
Could I use my premonition?
What are you looking to glean?
if that ticking is something else, or how this is going to go if we keep going.
Roll me premonition. And then rouse for it.
Okay, it's resolve discipline, right? I just click the button next to that.
Yes, it is.
That would be 4 successes with a rouse check. I'm still good.
Thinking on it, Ken. Someone's here. Ticking, 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 ticking. The ticking of a clock. No, it's beeping. It's beeping. Ticking, beeping. Fire.
I'll look at Malice and say, let's get out of here now.
Alice will go away.
I don't have a good feeling about this. I don't like the ticking. We need to go now.
Ticking. What ticking?
I hear ticking, beeping, and his eyes will just kind of glaze over and kind of repeat what Coffee said. I don't like this.
And when you look through down the hallway, you see that the master bedroom door is open and there is a figure sitting in a chair.
I'm gonna go check it out.
Malice, we have to go. Or you have to hurry. And Ken's going to start edging towards the door.
Make it quick.
As you watch as Malice goes closer and closer toward that figure, you hear the ticking and this beeping get louder and louder.
Malice, don't do this. I don't like this. And Ken's going to start heading towards the door.
The shroud thins.
I didn't hear that full sentence. What was that?
Malice is going to pop where the shroud thins.
Where's the shroud thin? So what does that do?
It tells me if somebody has died in this place recently. If so, how often, and if it's good for use as a ceremonial site as well for rituals.
Does that take a rouse?
Yes.
Okay. And is there a like a roll for it?
Give me just a second. This is not as...
Sorry, is there a roll for it?
Yeah, other than the rouse, I've got to pull it up.
Oh, okay.
Phone is being super slow. Sorry.
No worries. Ken, what are you doing?
Ken is inching out the door and starting to get down the stairs a bit.
Okay, I'm gonna
Fair
get
enough.
hungrier.
Okay.
And it's Wits Oblivion.
Then roll me Wits Oblivion.
7 critical.
Jeez.
I believe I'm going to take a stain for that because it is critical.
Okay. You will take a stain. Looking where the shroud thins in this place, you allow yourself to see into that grim darkness. And yes, someone has indeed died in this place.
Can I tell how recently with that?
Tonight. In fact, only a couple hours ago?
Can I tell who's sitting in the chair? Are they facing me or away from me?
They are facing you, but the light coming in to kind of silhouettes them a little bit. But you do see dark curly hair.
It looked like David's hair.
No. Female. Your eyes kind of focus and you see that there's Mercy. Sitting in a chair. Bound. And you're starting to hear it now. Rapid beeping.
Can I use premonition? See how this is going to go for Mercy.
Go for it.
Right, that's a rouse. It's a success. What's the roll?
Resolve aspects.
Resolve aspects. Okay. That's 4.
Ticking, 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 beeping, 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 faster and faster. The time is approaching. Soon. Seconds away.
Malice isn't going to stop. He's going to continue moving towards Mercy. And, is there a window behind Mercy in the bedroom?
Yes, there is.
Right. Malice is going to lower his shoulder like he learned in football.
Mm-hmm.
Run as fast and as hard as he can at Mercy. Wrapping her up and shooting through the window.
You jump through the window with Mercy in this chair in your grasp. You're 3 stories up. But that beeping doesn't go away. And before you hit the ground, that premonition that you saw, you see fire. And it's only then that you kind of realize that she's the one beeping. What do you do? You're falling. It hasn't happened yet. What do you do?
Can I tell where it's coming from on her body?
Her abdomen.
In her abdomen?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck it. I got a knife for a reason. Oh, we're falling.
So from the
Gotta
fall,
pull it out.
from the fall, you are going to take damage.
Where?
Now, you have a choice. You could mitigate damage, but it will take time for you to recover and get the device.
Okay.
Or you can not mitigate damage and potentially be able to remove the device from her.
Fuck it. I'm gonna try to roll over where if we land, she's gonna land on me, but I'm gonna try to take that fucking bomb out.
Okay. Then this is going to be a flat, not halved, 3 points of superficial health damage.
Is it superficial?
Yep, superficial.
Wrong thing.
You know, this would normally kill a person, jumping from this height, but you're a vampire. And so, how do you go about removing a beeping device from somewhere within Mercy
As
without...
I said, told our nails are sharp. Malice is just gonna stick his hand in there, almost like Kali Ma ripping the heart out.
Then I'm going to
Yes,
call
Derek,
for...
yes.
I'm going to call for a strength medicine. Because you're looking to just rip something out of her.
Six on a critical.
6 on a critical. So, reaching in, you can already tell she's torpid. That she's not showing any signs of awareness at all. She's beaten, cut, limbs broken. But you don't have time for that now. You rip open her clothing. You reach your hand into where you think this device is, this beeping device. And with the deftness of a surgeon that you are, even though you're ripping something out of her, you pull something, metal, metallic, beeping, for sure, and it clicks. This is the thing. And out of a sense of fear, because your beast is going wild knowing what you know now, you chuck it randomly.
I was hoping to chuck it back into that room, but fuck it.
Your beast doesn't care. This is an impulse out of the beast. You don't have a frenzy check.
Get rid of it.
Just get rid of it. It's an impulse of your beast to chuck it somewhere.
Alright.
And that is where we're going to take a quick break. Be back soon, everyone.
Of course you would break right now.
Welcome back, everyone, to War in the Soul City. We left off our coterie where Malice and Ken were dealing with an incapacitated Mercy after finding her staged with what seems like an explosive device implanted into her gut, and them, well, leaving the scene. But for now, we're going to follow Rodney as he treads beneath the city, through the tunnels that he himself has helped carve in this spider web of a network that they, Nosferatu, have created for themselves. These tunnels do go through the Flowood neighborhood, as this city was not originally split between the anarchs of this city and the Camarilla. It is only since the anarchs decided that they would split away from Prince Calhoun's court that the territory that they have been residing in has been shrinking and shrinking. The leash getting tighter and tighter. Some worry that a caged animal now resides within the anarchs. And we all know what caged and cornered animals do when they're threatened. And we find Rodney perusing through these streets first to grab himself a little snack. So Rodney, why don't you describe to us what it is that you're doing to feed tonight?
He's looking for a house. Something that's easily accessible. Hopefully with darkened windows and lights all switched off inside. Where hopefully he will find somebody sleeping that he can have a bit of a munch on.
Yes, that toothy maw of yours definitely wants to find skin and flesh to sink into, as you're peckish today.
Just
So, Mr. Drummond, go ahead and roll your feeding roll.
No modifiers? Or do I get my break-in?
Your break-in is larceny or stealth?
Stealth, I do believe. Yes, it is stealth.
Okay, then yes, you do get your specialty for stealth. You are breaking into this home, something you've done many, many, many times before.
Did roll that and just didn't come up. Let's try.
Try turning off the API because it seems to be broken.
Let's just do this and see if that helps.
Because I probably have to remove it and then reinstall it.
Yeah, that's. Booger. How do I turn off the API?
There should be a checkbox that says something about API. Just make sure it's unchecked.
Try this again. There we go.
There we are.
That's better.
That's 3, which is enough. The nice thing about the area around the Dolphin Hotel is that it is chock full of people sleeping in the hotel. And it's chock full of residences that are equally as early sleepers. You and your coterie reside in a fairly nice part of town. And the hotel does well to keep travelers in, even being so far away from the hotel as it is. It still manages to get a good, steady flow of delightfully delicious sleeping individuals. So, we're gonna check and see how intense there is of resonance there. This person, it's not exciting. It's tasty, but it's not exciting. It's not concentrated in any sort of way. It's... Well, you've probably tasted animals before, but animals are fairly disgusting tasting. This is just kind of bland.
Nothing special.
You kind of like your vessels to have a little bit of a zing to them, don't you, Mr. Drummond?
Of course. The taste of dreams or even nightmares tends to give such a wonderful flavor.
Nope. Sadly, it looks like this person is not bothered or plagued by dreams or nightmares at all.
Oh, well. At least my hunger is sated. For now.
And so you slink out of this kind of back of the hotel hallway, having stashed away that key card somewhere else on your person, and make your way out into the night, no one else knowing anything the wiser. And so you take 2?
Yep.
Alright. After the feeding, and you're kind of still licking your chops a little bit as you're crawling down the different corridors leading from the basement of your hotel down into the depths, the kind of crawl space entrance that you've dug out in this little space to get to the rest of the network of spidering tunnels and crawlways and whatever else, linking to sewer lines and sewer tunnels and underground bits and bobs and everything. Where are you going beneath the city?
I'd specifically like to focus on our domain, the space beneath it. It's one thing to look at the above ground and the things that crawl there, but below ground things turn a little different. Harder to see, and there's far more places to hide.
Of course.
It's often more sneaky. It's often forgotten about. So I would like to make my way through the tunnels under our domain and keep an eye out for any kind of sign that someone other than one of my own clan has been using these tunnels.
In that case, I would like you to make me a resolve investigation.
I'm so glad I put that extra investigation. No modifiers. Boom.
Looking around, you're in your own domain. You're not seeing anything out of the ordinary. You've perused these tunnels many times before as Liv, your Toreador friend, makes very little habit of actually coming down here. Seeing as you're the primary user of these tunnels, it falls to you to maintain them.
Are you okay? The sewer's not choking you?
I'll live. But nothing down here seems out of the ordinary.
He continues to make his way making his way to the Flowood border, where he will actually start to cross over into Flowood and start mapping out that area, seeing if there's any changes from the last time that he was down here.
Okay. In that case, I would like you to make another investigation check, but this one is going to be wits, as you don't want to be caught here with...
I would also like to obfuscate.
You may.
With
You may obfuscate.
and it's a wits investigation, you said?
Yes.
Oof. Did that just not roll anything? Oh, Jesus. Okay, I would like to willpower that.
I can also allow you to succeed at a call. Well, I need one success in order to be able to do that.
Yeah. I'm gonna willpower those 3 dice.
Okay, go for it. Well, there's 2.
Okay, that's better. Oof.
Going a little faster, because you don't necessarily want to be caught here without any kind of escort. You're here on your own, Mr. Drummond.
Not again, not again.
And so far
I
as you
rather
know...
like not having to punch alligators in the nose.
Because those alligators might just bite back. But you start quickly going in and out of some of these tunnels underneath the Flowood domain. The spaces down here much more function over form. There's no style. It's just dug into the dirt. Or there's very little in the way of support. And there's barely even enough room to crawl. But going through these spaces, getting towards sewer lines and drainage areas for water and things of that sort, you're quickly surveying and nothing seems particularly different.
Does it seem like it's been used recently?
Based on that, you can't really tell. This is dirt and rock and everything dusty, and the sewers are mucky and wet, and there, if there's any traces of anyone having been down here, they might have dusted away or been washed away long ago. Did rain recently.
No way I'm going to see it. I certainly need the eyes of a toreador down here. Well, that will soon become a thing with Ken. He starts to make his way up, I think, into... Because I imagine he's in the Warren section, slightly below the sewers?
You can be in like the tunnels. They kind of connect to the sewers at different points, in order to create exits. But they're the exit points are, they're very few.
Yeah. And about how far into the Flowood area has he gone?
Well, how far did you want to go?
He wants to push as deep as he can, if the tunnels allow.
The tunnels kind of snake in to different spaces, and the sewer tunnels snake everywhere else. So you tell me where you want to be.
He wants to see how far the actual dugout tunnels, not the sewer tunnels, the dugout tunnels, how deep they actually go into the Flowood domain.
Going that far, based on the investigation roll that you've given me, they don't make it nearly as far as the reservoir. So just... And you don't really have, like, dark vision of any kind, do you?
It's one of the things that he would like to ascertain down here is whether anything has been added to the tunnels. But if he can't tell if anybody's been down here, it's probably not going to happen.
And so you would have brought a flashlight with you, right?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. So for the case of this, your obfuscate, I'm gonna say that you currently aren't using it, and that the rouse for that is, we don't have to do that just yet, because you are fully aware that having a flashlight is going to negate that anyway. Yeah. So because you can't see down here because there's no light at all. So
just a little bit dark.
Yep. But you going quickly through, nothing seems out of the ordinary. Nothing seems new. If anything, it kind of dead ends in a place, and then, you have to shimmy your way towards going back in order to get back to the tunnels in order to exit. The sewers to exit.
Kind of like his kin has started digging here a long time ago and just never finished it.
Possibly.
He starts making his way back up into the sewer section, checking around the man-made sewers. When he came through here last time, he'd seen markings around, indications sewers themselves. And he kind of wants to check up on all that and make sure that none of that's changed, or if it has changed at all.
You can't tell.
Okay.
Not on a 2. You can't tell. You're looking through everything. You're kind of distracted by the fact that you could get caught down here at any point and no one would know.
In which case, he starts to make his way back. There's not really anything else that he can do there without somebody with a better set of eyes.
So
But that round, he's going to head back to the hotel. He's deciding that this is going to become a regular occurrence for him of a night. Just checking this and making sure that nobody's getting into their domain through this underside.
On your way back through the sewers on the underside of the border of the Flowood domain, a hand reaches out for your shoulder. Quiet. Stupid boy.
My apologies. Sheriff.
What are you doing down here?
Reconnaissance.
What did you find?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. There was nothing of note in the sewers or even in the old moorings underneath the Flowood domain.
How much of it did you explore?
As much as I could.
Very well. It's dangerous down here alone.
Yes. Yes. I understand that, Sheriff.
Good.
Everything all right.
Sorry, what?
Everything all right.
Just making my rounds. As you were.
Have a good rest of your evening, Sheriff.
Be quieter. I could hear you sloshing about. These tunnels echo for miles. If you have good enough ears.
Yes, sir. I'll keep that in mind.
Do you have the ability to work silently?
No, he's only got Cloak of Shadows and Unseen. No, unfortunately not.
Ah, no wonder. No wonder. Can't even be sure what it is that they have to at their disposal. Anarchs are barbaric.
Well, last I was down in this area, there was at least one with alligators.
Yes, I'm aware of her.
Yes. Unfortunately, so am I. Is there anything else that I can help you with, Sheriff?
Potentially.
I'm listening.
As a grandchild of mine, I would imagine that you have been taught by your sire the workings of Zelios.
Yeah, yes. Yes.
How far does your knowledge go?
How far does my knowledge go? Not sure.
I mean, that's based on your lore sheet.
I've got. Oh shit.
Because I know that you have the.
He's got on commission and sanctuary.
Okay. Then.
I'm racking my brain
Then that
to
would
remember
mean
what
that
they
you're.
were actually for.
That would mean that you're, pretty well learned of Zelios's techniques in building and maintaining havens.
I have assisted a number of people with building structures our own kind as well.
I may have need of your assistance in that regard. With the Anarchs being as flippant as they have been and quiet as they have been, we may need additional safe spaces for resources. In the next few nights, I would like you to come up with an idea of sorts. I want to see and test you.
Yes, sir. What kind of resources needed to be stored?
Physical assets. So a vault, if you will.
Yes.
If you
I
could
believe
draw
I
up a
can.
plan.
Yes, I believe I can do as such. I can have that to you in possibly tomorrow.
I would like it to be thorough. Do not rush it.
Of course. You can't rush perfection.
Exactly.
I will have that to you as swiftly as possible.
Thank you. good night.
Good night, sir.
And he almost seems to disappear in the blink of an eye.
Rodney is going to shrink back into the shadows himself because that was not a run-in that he was expecting. And he is going to make his way back to the hotel. He's got a job to do now.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, there's Dana, who also intended to feed tonight.
Well, best to end up staying on top of such things.
Is there anything else your little Toreador heart desires to do tonight?
I'm taking advantage of Rodney's suggestion. He may be Nosferatu, but maybe he's on to something as far as the whispers and secrets. Or maybe he's just hanging me out to dry. Neither one would surprise me. But going to feed, topping up, so to speak, puts me at my best. I'm gonna try and stay to the usual routines. Get in touch with some of the locals that I'm aware of, the ones that let me know what's going on in our domain.
Mm-hmm.
Various affairs, getting my own in order. And making sure that I'm out enough in the open to maybe spur the Anarchs on to doing something. Sitting and waiting was never my forte. I tend to get impatient.
Well, then let's find out how this feed goes, shall we?
More than enough.
No problem at all. Not a problem at all, Miss Rain. Oh, it is
This might be good.
absolutely intense. Let's find out if there's a clot. No, it's intense though. And the resonance type 3. Let's find out what this individual tastes like. It's phlegmatic. Intense phlegmatic. Well, acute, actually. And we didn't get a clot out of it, but that means that you have an incredibly calm individual. Maybe they're on something, maybe they're not. Maybe they're just whimsical. Almost like there's no worries at all in the world.
I am going to keep an ear out for this individual. The palette actually is quite nice. I like the silky smooth undertones, something that is relaxing, calming, almost introspective. I think I like phlegmatic. I think I'm quickly becoming incredibly fond of that type. And it might be worth coming back to. I'd take a name, a number, Maybe a cute date for the later, portion of the week. Or a fun one-night stand. Either way, it doesn't really matter so much to me. So much as it matters that I get to have that taste again. And especially given on how tight ass I've been, well, bluntly, I think it's probably for the better.
It's almost like your jaw unclenches and your shoulders relax. Like what happens when you were alive and you would just breathe in and breathe out and relax yourself. Feels very close to that, how intense this flavor is to you. It feels like you could get overwhelmed in just the relaxation. But it's nice.
After finishing off, I make my way. Continuing on.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just going about business. Stop by the armory, stop by a few local haunts, maybe even check in with our Toreador sniper. Just trying to get the lay of the land, get a better understanding. Or maybe something will catch my amusement, or something. My eyes wandering, especially under the influence of the phlegmatic resonance. It's kind of like being on LSD. You just kind of let it roll in waves. I think there's a part of me that wishes that blood never ran out. I can spend all evening just savoring it. But there is that individual. I might have to end up seeing what's making that taste work out so well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still licking at my own chops, trying to get a little bit of a hint back of that same flavor, hoping to miss the spot between my teeth. But continue walking through the night. Patrol and trying to end up finding something that inspires, or something that interests, something that might end up assisting. Well, I guess I shouldn't expect anything and expect everything at the same time, given the fact that it's on Rodney's suggestion. Maybe it was a big mistake.
So you wander through your domain, kind of checking in with Liv, and she's got nothing new to really report, but she's antsy. I don't like sitting around. I don't like sitting around waiting. I don't like walking around waiting. Oh, if you're saying something, you're muted.
Yep, I just caught that. Liv, I don't suppose not. I think that you're like me in that regard. You wish you could savor the thrill of the anticipation, but you've been anticipating so long to pull that trigger.
Nothing. Nothing at all. You've been the one with, like, boots on the ground, kind of, you know, playing in the court and, you know, ugh. But doing other
Just because
things.
I wear it better than you.
You'll always wear it better than me. I can't stand it.
Most can't. Doesn't mean I have to like it, but
Yeah.
what are we going to do? Send Rodney off to court?
Oh, God, no. God, that would be the worst impression ever. How
I think we can do worse. We can introduce Kenny. We'd all be here eaten by a fortnight.
I don't like that idea either. No, I very much appreciate that, what you do.
Don't start getting soft on me. I have no interest in it. I want...
What do you want, Dana?
Nothing that this city can provide.
Really? There's nothing here at all? Weren't you born here?
Yes, I was.
Born, raised, died, and embraced here?
I think you can say at that point I've done it all.
Where would you go?
Someplace with a lot less sun.
I mean, we don't ever see the sun anymore.
Yeah, but sure, when the sun's up, it makes for short nights.
Thank goodness it's winter, right?
Now. I was talking to Rodney earlier.
About?
How hideous he looks, but between the barbs. I made it a point, so I understand you. You feel like a caged animal. You're just waiting to get out, have a chance at something. Me, I don't think there's a single individual in this entire court that I can... Well...
That you can what?
Down with.
Well... I've never judged you. Not even gonna start.
That's a first for our blood.
To be fair, Dana, I'm not exactly a perfect Toreador either.
What is? At this point, I'm pretty sure we'd achieve perfection and then still complain on the fact that there's nowhere else to go but here.
I mean,
how mundane.
I mean, there's still the Toreadorness, I guess. But I was a wartime embrace.
Yeah, so you came in with a purpose.
Kind of.
And you stick to that?
Mostly. Caitlin is still trying to get me to come to court more often.
Honestly, your talents would be wasted in court unless you were intending to end up shooting a primage, in which case, well, more power to you. I won't be the one stepping in the way of that bullet.
Jesus.
But what other thing could you do?
Well,
Your eyes are pointed exactly where they need to be and where you'd probably be most happy. If you were pulled away from this little perch of yours, you'd probably be complaining that you should be watching the line.
are we talking about me or are we talking about you?
Didn't think that you had psychology in you.
I'm not that charismatic. But I am smart. This is why I do better in court. Or not in court. Just,
Like I said,
I
you're smart.
can't even talk.
Noticed.
No, I'm better shooting off the heads of Sabat. They've all fucked off.
Sounds like your prime has already passed you by.
Maybe it has. Eternity's what you make of it, right?
Eternity's what you make of it. That's funny. That's very funny.
Why?
Because we all have a role to play. And we dance upon the stage with the moon as the spotlight, and we play our roles. For you, 150 here, Cal here. Well, is it a clip or a magazine? I always get those confused. At a time. And then you have Rodney skulking around in the shadows, trying to end up learning all he can about Tyler.
Tyler.
Then you have Malice, who's currently pulling in Kenny Boy. And Lord knows what those two are up to. And then Malice just ended up and disappearing, so who knows what she's up to.
You mean Mercy?
So
I haven't heard from her in a couple of nights, actually.
she's a Kata. For all I know, she's off near. Well, I would hate to get disparaging.
I've already pointed that out to them. Anyway, but she's usually around. I mean, aside from me. Has Malice checked in on her?
No idea. No, nor do I particularly care. It's Hakata.
But they're part of our team.
They're part of our team because there's some kind of tie between the Capes and the corpse fuckers.
Okay, well, that doesn't concern you at all?
It's healthier for me not to. If they give it a week, if they still don't show up, then fine. If I went missing, no one would blink an eye. Why should I exchange the courtesy?
I would.
You're saying that because you're terrible at court.
Well, okay. I wasn't going to just reduce you down to just what you're good at.
Isn't that what we do? This little game we play? Figuring out what everybody's good at, put them in their place, have them grind those gears till a new spot opens up where they're more useful. A whole bunch of little pawns on the board.
But there's Dana underneath all of that, too.
There is no Dana, only Zool.
Only Zool.
Before your time.
Wait. You don't look much older than me. How long ago were you embraced?
Little tip. If somebody says something's before your time, that means you missed something and they're giving you a polite out.
Oh. Right. Right. Cool. Got it. That's a jab at my social intelligence.
It's hard to don't worry, I would never insult you here, social intelligence. Because that would imply it existed.
You're funny.
You know, you're the first to think that.
Am I? I mean, you
kind of
crack a lot of jokes about Rodney. I find a lot of them fairly kind of funny.
She just stands up and starts walking off. Just leaving those as her last words. Let her ruminate on it, or maybe Dana's just would like to leave on a positive note for once. It's hard talking with Liv. Because Liv can make you forget for just a small minute. I think that's part of her charm, is that she says she's looking for anarchs. What everybody else hasn't figured out is Liv is the gun to the back of Dana's head, and I think she's trying to make Dana forget that too. So Dana will play the role. Confide just enough to keep everybody satisfied. It's a shame that Liv didn't have anything to tell. When she continues walking down the street, she's just looking up at stars, using heightened senses and sense the unseen. She's not really looking for anarchy. She's not like Liv, where she's looking at the prowl. What she's looking for is those weird moments, a wisp of spirit, or a bit of emotional resonance still stuck on the wind, or maybe the odd flickering of neon lights when, like when you roll them through a high-speed camera. Maybe she'll walk by one of those billboards that have the really cheesy advertisement with the terrible lettering on it, and just count the pixels from a kilometer away. Kind of like what she did with Rodney's pores. She's just taking it in best she can. But the streets are just filthy. It's a horrible place, and she still doesn't feel comfortable. She wants to run back to the hotel just because it would end up giving her some moment of peace, or something that she can just look over, admire, rest her eyes.
When her eyes fixate on a plume of smoke in the distance, while atop one of these buildings. Far across the city, there's an explosion. The sound of sirens going through the streets.
Well, now isn't that just curious? Well, at least it's something to do. She starts walking back to get to her car. Go and take a look. Why not a bystander? Always fun to end up doing so.
Which brings us back to Rodney and Ken. Our lovely little duo, who we left briefly. The two of you are there in the middle of the street. The device that was implanted in Mercy, Malice, you chucked across the street, and upon doing so, there's a loud crash of an explosion, fire licking at the buildings on the sides of the street, car alarms going off, things setting ablaze. And I would like you and Ken to roll me frenzy checks.
And the frenzy is willpower remaining and
Humanity modifier, which would be for humanity 6 and 7, and 8 would be 2. So it's your remaining willpower plus 2. You're barely holding on, Ken. Your beast is telling you that you need to get the fuck out of here and you need to do it now. Where Malice, you maybe have a little bit more of a clear head as you're getting up. You said you had 5 successes?
6.
6 successes. So you have very much the coolest head in this entire in this entire thing. So what do the both of you do?
Malice is ripping the restraints off of Mercy. Tells Ken, go get the car and come here now.
Ken will take off running.
Take off running where?
To get the car.
To get the car? Okay.
Yeah, let's try to get away from the fire as much as he can, because he's not liking it.
No, of course
Even
not.
Glass and metal on the outside of it, just another layer of protection would be preferable to just standing out here.
Exactly. And so you start running off towards the car in a mad dash. Malice, you're ripping restraints off of Mercy, which is not hard to do at all. It's basically just ropes to keep her bound while she's in a torpid state. And so you rip the bindings off, and the chair comes loose from her body, and There's that gaping wound now in the front of her abdomen that you ripped this device out of, and just exploded less than a block away. And buildings are starting to catch fire.
Malice will throw the chair on one of the fires.
And things are starting to catch fire nearby. The building walls are starting to char. You're getting ever more antsy as time goes on. So
as soon as Kenny Boy gets back with the car, get Mercy in. Do the best I can to check on her and sew her up.
okay. Ken, so you're intending to drive the car toward the fire? From where it's parked?
Yeah, to get as close as I would be comfortable.
I'm going to ask you for a willpower roll.
So I just click willpower?
Yep. Because that's your current unspent willpower. You probably get a couple of feet with the car before you immediately stop it and say, nope, 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 not getting any closer than that. Your beast will not let you do that. You don't have it in you to go that much closer. You know how paper thin your skin and tissues and whatever else makes you up anymore is when it comes to fire. You'd burn up in an instant like a piece of tissue. And so Malice, the Ken is not really getting the car any closer than to the fire or towards your location. So you do have to pick up Mercy and actually take her.
I also pick her up and carry her to the car.
Okay. It's not hard to do since you're going away from the fire. So you kind of hop in the back seat with Mercy in tow, and Dana, it's about that time that you're arriving on the scene, and you see the explosion from the fire from afar. Now, the flames are licking up the sides of the buildings. There's pieces of burning rubble still falling in some places. There's obviously car alarms and fire alarms and everything else, and sirens going to and fro in this place now. You get the sense that the fire department and the authorities are going to be here soon.
I'm just a bystander. I park my car out of the way, so mostly because I don't want them putting a firefighting hose through the windows.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of look around, see what's going on, grab my cell phone, which really has no battery or anything inside of it. It's mostly just for looks and cover because, well, that's the masquerade, but actually having one that works, well, one, I end up making sure that I don't actually bring my work phone just in case. But I just want to end up appearing as somebody who's there to take pictures, which is actually not all that far from my intent. I'm more excited that, ooh, something's happening. What is this? Maybe that's the Toreador blood speaking. Maybe I just really want to end up seeing something that reminds me of the good old days.
Oh, those fire flinging days. You never really could determine why it was that Belle had balls of steel in that regard.
I think it was less on that. I think it was more on the fact that she had the physical might to be able to huck one of those about 3 city blocks away without much issue. I think that was really where it came from.
That's impressive.
I give it to the Bruja.
Dana, make me a wits awareness.
Sure thing. And can I add heightened senses to it?
You may.
And because this is an Auspex roll, and I'm phlegmatic. Wow. I'm gonna willpower it. Dark diced it again. 3.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fair enough. You see Malice's car driving away.
Now, isn't that just curious? Have to have a talk with those boys.
Daylight is coming soon.
Yeah. But right now, I have a bonfire to watch. Get to be around people. Get to be a spectator in the shit show that is the Camarilla versus the Anarchs round 55. I'm presuming that's what happened because, well, Malice, Kenny Boy are leaving the scene, and I just pulled up here. So I'm just going to observe what there is to observe.
And
Maybe
given
there's stereotypical return to the scene of the crime moments. Something, I don't know.
and given whose territory this is usually patrolled by, you expect that the Hound might hear of this at some point.
Probably.
If he doesn't know already.
Well, don't put it too far ahead of them.
But
Still, I spend a little bit of time there before I end up bailing. Unless something just pops up, I'm just observing.
nope. If you're just a bystander and just observing what's going on, you see fire, you see the authorities, you see a couple of odd vehicles, but you can't really make out what they're for. But other than that, it looks like a typical fire with a bit of a crater in the middle of the street, to be honest. But that's the only odd part.
Craters happen all the time, of course. um,
That's probably the only odd thing that you see.
Too bad I don't have science forensics.
Yeah, too bad you don't.
Well, I'm just gonna observe. Maybe see a cute fireman or something. I don't know. I used to pick up those calendars back in the day. Did they still make those? The random musings of Dana as somebody's entire home is burning to the ground.
And you don't get very close because obvious reasons. You observe from afar, and no one seems particularly interested in you.
Now that is just disappointing and insulting.
I suppose they have other priorities. But you are...
Why is everybody running, why is it that all the firemen are going over there to the burning building when hot stuff is right here?
Hey, Lamau.
I just can't understand people these days.
Ah, the whimsies of the mortals.
Well, I'm going to end up making it a point to start to head on out. Since if by observation, I don't see anything in particularly standing out that I can intervene with or really calls for my attention,
No.
I think I'm gonna head back to the hotel.
No, it looks like it's gonna take a lot longer than you have time for to put this fire out.
Oh, I know, but I already know one thing's for sure. Somehow this is Kenny Boy's fault.
Well, I suppose you'll have to go to the hotel to find out, Miss Rain. Because that certainly seems like the direction they were headed. But
Good convenience.
all of you are back at the little haven that you have under the hotel shortly before sunrise. Your companions live, and strangely, a torpid Mercy is what is greeted to you all when Malice brings her in from the car. Ken kind of keeping an eye out, and all of you from the coterie of the Good Dig crew are now present.
Okay, 3 questions. 1,
Hold,
how did that happen? 2, why was there a smoking burning crater? And 3, how is this Kenny's fault?
get to that 1 second. Before we get to the hotel,
Okay.
Malice is going to call the Don.
Okay. And inform him of what's going on.
We have a fucking problem.
And he informs you that you can talk about it tomorrow, because there's no time tonight.
Fine. Oh, I'm aware. I just will need your time tomorrow.
Understood.
Say when.
First thing.
Okay, so your first question was what?
How did this happen to her? Why was there a smoky crater? And how is it Kenny's fault?
First and third have the same. I have no fucking idea. Second, well, somebody decided to, I don't know what the fuck they did to her, but they put a bomb in her abdomen. Hence the gaping wound that's about the size of my fist, maybe a little bit bigger.
So Hikata
Yeah.
getting inside one another for fun. Got it.
This is fun.
Don't know. I hear
Think it
you
was
guys
fun
are
for
real
me to reach
freaky.
my hand inside my sister's guts and try to pull out a bomb?
Bomb. You hear Liv say.
I'll describe it as best I can remember it to live. Stuck inside her abdomen.
Oh, shit.
That's a nasty thing to do.
The thing to do to anybody, but yeah. As to how Kenny is somehow responsible, again, I don't have a fucking clue. I have more questions than answers. Way strapped to a chair with a bomb in her abdomen.
That's fucked up.
I expect whoever did it on me to find her and take us both out same time.
I have a question. How did you find her? What led you to her?
Doing what I needed to do, assuming she'd already done what I was there to do, and Somebody got the drop on her and decided to leave me a little present.
What were you there to do?
Like I said, what she already done.
Which is still an unknown to all parties outside of you and Kenny.
I have no idea what's going on. We arrived to take care of someone. And
Take care of someone. Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
I don't
Already been
know.
dealt with.
Yes, I've got a bad feeling. I used the ability of mine and got even
I
worse
saw
feelings.
a bomb.
You arrived to take care of a person and found Mercy instead strapped to a chair with a bomb inside of her stomach.
Pretty on a
Why?
torpor state.
Why were you taking care of this person? I
Because I
ask
was told to.
simply because that's a hell of a state for somebody to be found in.
And
That is concern.
and upon looking at her, she is mangled. She's barely together even.
Malice will quickly go to his room and see if he has any of the blood bags that he grabbed from the hospital the other night.
Now, did you store them at this place, or did you store them at your river haven?
The body parts and ritual stuff was taken out there. The blood bags were brought back with me.
Okay.
In my bag, stored in my room.
How many did you have? Because I did not. I
grabbed
don't.
Four of those. I don't know if I still have them here, but I still have two.
Okay. For future note, I'm gonna need, like, anytime you have something like that, I need to at least have a note of that, because I don't know what you store.
I get you.
I didn't know that you had that stored here.
I would like to take advantage of an opportunity.
Okay.
Because now Big Brother is no longer looking at the room. And I have no doubt that Kenny Boy is not particularly well versed in what might be transpiring, so now I just need to either duck Rodney or, well, I'm kind of there. I'm just kind of chewing on my fingertips. What I'm not letting obviously known is that I am pricking my finger on a thing. And as everybody waits, obviously, I'm a little curious about the body. A little bit of torpor. But I kind of run my finger just along the corner of the corpse's lip. Just enough to end up making a 1-point blood bond.
Well, see, the thing that is that she is in a bad way.
Yep.
And so, let's see. Actually, I need to mark all of that.
I knew it was tempting fate.
Oh, hang on. I'll have to do that again. God dang it. No, she does not succeed on a frenzy check. She is
This is a hunger frenzy.
It is a hunger frenzy.
I am going to force my arm into her mouth. I don't care if she chews it to bits. Once she ends up getting a single dot, she might come out of it. So I am willing to offer that.
Okay. Then you will increase your hunger by 1, and she will reduce
You
her.
know what? I will do it by 2. I will
And
gladly
there are others in the room, and Vitae is very, very viscous. So whether she gets to before somebody intervenes is...
I think as soon as Rodney begins to see her move, he's going to leave in there to try and grapple her and try and, lock his arms around her up underneath and kind of try and lift her up off of her feet and stop her from reaching out at Dana.
And she's in a state where she cannot really move herself very much, and so you're able to free Dana before that second point of blood is given to Mercy, so she can make a new frenzy check, but I don't know that she's gonna make it.
Well, she made it with 2. She didn't make it with 2 successes. I'm kind of curious just on how bad it is for her right now. Nope.
She's still reaching and clawing and violently thrashing in place, but she has very little body substance that she can't even move. She's barely even conscious. She's barely even awake. She's just acting on instinct at this point.
Wow. Okay, well, I'm going to assist in keeping them settled down, and I believe so long as we have a concerted effort, I am going to continue to end up assisting in keeping her pinned. At this exact moment, I'm only going to give 1 hunger at this point. Fuck the bitch.
By this point, whatever you were doing, Malice, you do hear this commotion.
I'll grab the 2 blood bags and run back as quickly as I can.
And you see Mercy in her very trashed state, just flailing where she was left. The clawing and writhing and not even, there's just instinct behind those eyes.
Malice is getting back up there. He'll bite the top off of one of the bags.
And Dana, you notice that she's actually chewed a chunk out of your arm.
Oh, I'd believe it. That hurt a lot more than expected.
Yep, you're gonna take a point of aggravated damage.
Damn. Okay.
That is what a vampire bite do.
Okay.
Kneel down and squeeze the bag like it's a bloody Capri Sun straight into her mouth.
I'll hold her head down and end up doing it.
Yeah.
Rodney's got it held.
And you squeeze those blood bags down into her mouth, and it seems to stay down for a moment. But you know Mercy's proclivities. Let's see if she'll actually come out of frenzy. I'll give her modifiers because she has, people pinning her down now. Oh. Hey, that's
Hey,
6 on a crit. She finally kind of snaps out of it and but
it's undead! It's undead! I always wanted to say that.
But by the time you do, she's keeling over and throwing up exactly what you had just tossed into her mouth.
Son of a bitch.
What does she need?
Well, if I would have known that you had those laying around, I wouldn't have bothered. Shows what I get for trying to be behaving.
Offer is appreciated.
Malice, what does she need?
She eats
A
the
new
way
chew
I
toy.
do. I don't know.
Or a ball
I
gag,
don't know
one or the
what's-
other.
Well, I find you amusing most of the time, Dana. That's not helping right now. What does she need, Malice?
She eats the way I do. This should work. Should have worked. I don't know why. I don't know why it's coming back up.
Is there anything else that she could possibly potentially eat?
I have a thought. She kind of raises her arm up, showing this horrible gash of missing muscle bit right down to bone.
But she's not conscious.
He's out again.
She doesn't have it in her to heal any damage, so.
What can I go and get to Malice? What do you need?
I don't know.
What do you normally eat? Is it just blood bags or?
People.
People?
Not necessarily alive either.
Ken will just get a look on his face of kind of disgust and I'll be right back.
You plan on going for a day trip?
Not outside the hotel. How long do we have?
It's gonna be sunup.
Very soon.
Okay,
I will have to. I will have to keep her with me for the night.
here's a thought. We put her in a room and we lock it until we can get what she needs.
Without being able to talk to her, I don't know what she needs. Should have
Malice,
worked.
You know that I'm okay or good at making a body. Tomorrow I'll go find someone and see if we can rouse her that way. I disgust me to even think about doing this, but I owe you and she is very important to you.
Malice is gonna pick her up and take her to his room. He can keep an eye on her and keep her close. Lock and bar the door, as Rodney said. He's gonna keep her close.
And with that, go ahead.
Rodney just like, I have so many questions.
I have none of the answers.
I have a hole in my arm.
Percy has a hole in her freaking abdomen.
I'm cuter.
Willingly stuck your fucking hand in the beast's mouth. That's your own goddamn fault.
I think I'm the cutest one here.
All right.
You'll just get a look from Ken.
I think that is the perfect place to end it. Just everybody
Yes.
just kind of looking at Rodney like, I'm the cutest.
And everyone goes to their
I
separate
love that.
and everyone goes to their separate rooms to fall asleep for the day. And we will rejoin the dig crew when they rouse next time.
I will be right back real quick.
Good games, everybody.
Good game.
Son of a-
Congratulations, Mojo. You ain't dead.
Congratulations, you ain't dead. Congratulations,
Hey.
Mercy almost died.
Congratulations,
No
Kenny.
shit.
We can't blame this one on you right now.
Yes!
Huge win for Kenny.
Yet.
We'll find a way.
We'll find a way. Love always finds a way, right?
Oh god. I don't know about that, but it sure ain't hope that's floating.
Well, I'm glad you all have had fun today. Thank you so much for playing. So, I don't think I have a mod available, so I'll go ahead and start the poll myself. But what did everybody think?
I think you're evil.
Of course I
That
am.
was
Beginning to
awesome.
see this.
Did you not suspect this? Did you not watch all of San Antonio by night?
No, I did not. I came into this blind, and I am enjoying it.
Dude, you can't you wait until you get to the really messed up stuff that I've already told CoffeeCat about.
I still am gonna pick your brain for more ideas, by the way.
You know how my brain works and how to build worst case scenarios, so sure, let's go.
Please, just dump all the ideas and I'll pick my favorites.
Wait, what's up?
Derek and Coffee are conspiring against us to kill us all.
Well, we all know how this story ends, so I need to bring it to that conclusion somehow.
I actually do not, so this is going to be great for me.
Woohoo.
It's news to you, but it's not to the rest of us. I have I don't know how many stains I took for that critical success on the Oblivion.
Just one. I thought it was only on the rouse checks that if you get a 10, you get a stain.
10 or 1.
10 or 1.
It's a 1 in 5, and that is only if you're rousing for Oblivion powers.
Right. It's only on the rouse
Okay.
rolls.
So the eyes
Like,
don't actually require
critical-
a rouse check.
No,
So you
critical
don't.
success on where this on the rouse for the where the shroud thins.
Where the shot thins requires a
Find out
rouse
that-
check. What was the number on the dice for the rouse check?
That's why I said I'm taking a stain for this one.
I didn't
I rolled a 10 on that rouse.
rolled a 10 on the rouse. Okay, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to get an idea of. Was,
Right.
Okay, where does it burn? Or where does it burn?
Yeah, because if it's
So,
a
yeah.
10 or 1 on the rouse for an Oblivion power, then yes, you do take a stain. A single stain.
That's
Also, I just realized CoffeeCat is wearing a Nosferatu necklace.
Yes, I am.
success
I
on
got it from
the
Spectre.
remorse
Yay!
or whatever.
You are not permanently scarred by the darkness that you have shrouded yourself in to look into the veil. Thankfully, it did not scar you today. But it is one of the spooky things that Mercy is afraid of in regards to you, Malice. So
There's a possibility I'm gonna lose my soul no matter what I do. It's an inevitability given the amount of time we gonna wander this earth as these undead things.
you still have a piece of yourself left. So whatever that means. It's not about if, it's about when. So, I have started the poll for our lovely audience to get involved in sharing some experience with our lovely players here. But that does bring us to, some of the end of session stuff, like fulfilling desires. Who did it?
Nope.
Nope, not this time.
Not this time. Wah, wah. Okay, well that takes care of that. Then, now we're going to do some experience. So, much like we have our audience participation in granting some experience to our lovely players, we do things very similar to the way that Derek does in Edmonton and his other games, in that everybody at the table gets 1 for showing up. Yay! Consolation prize. But we deliberate amongst the players who had the best scene, who moved our plot the furthest, and who had the best line for an additional experience each. So, who moved the plot?
It's Kenny's fault, but I'm giving it to Malice nevertheless.
Yeah, I'm going to say Malice.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Malice, you son of a gun, it seems unanimous.
Yeah.
It was a good.
It's your consolation prize for almost dying. Have an experience.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Who had the best scene?
I'm going to throw my vote at that scene between Rodney and Dana.
Ah,
Dana opened up. It wasn't by a lot, but it's more than we've gotten from her ever before.
A little chink in the armor.
little bit.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yeah, I'll give that to Dana.
All right, to Dana it is. It's unanimous.
Okay.
I think. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to ask, who had the best line from tonight?
I was going to say, I think Rodney may have stole that at the end. Dana had it from before, but the timing was just too good.
I don't know. I don't know.
There is no
Tempted
Dana,
to-
only Zul was good, but
No. It was the whole bit of. Let me get this straight. You're going to put him down there with the just going through this whole. long list of how horrible it
that
is,
too.
and suddenly, like, I love this plan. Because even you were like, "Oh my God, she's coming to my defense." She's
No,
Right,
I
it's
knew
Dana.
better.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And there it is.
You know what? I'm going to say Dana for that one too, because I liked that one. I liked that. And I love dragging
honestly-
Kenny into horrible situations.
Oh yeah, I love that too. Like I think that's, and it's a way for a mother to end up getting his feet wet, you know. But I also love the fact that it's honestly, you know who it should go to? It should go to CoffeeCat, just because after there is no Dana only Zool line. Like what? Before your time. How old are you? And instead of answering, it's like it's a way for somebody giving you an out when something clearly went over your head and is trying to be polite about it. Oh, right, it's that social bit. For a second there, I thought you were insulting or mocking my social intelligence. Please, I would never mock your social intelligence. I deny its entire existence.
Liv just chuckles at that. That's so funny.
I'm not gonna lie, I like Dana, if only on the fact that I get to end up being just okay. How many quips can I make through the entire thing? Like,
I'm not witty like that. I wish that Adriana was witty like that, but I'm not witty.
I have a hole in my. She has a hole in her chest. I'm prettier. I'm the prettiest.
I feel pretty.
I think I'm cuter.
I mean, that's the one that steals it for me.
I thought it was just
I give it
hilarious
to
because
Rodney.
you want to give it to Rob.
As much as I like the idea for that,
Okay,
timing.
we'll give it to Rodney.
Aw, I didn't sway that vote. I promise.
I love you boys. You guys are great.
The problem with the Hikata scene, it's such a serious scene, but Dana looks at the situation, it's like, okay, I need to be vapid. She can't say what she's actually thinking, she has to be vapid, so all of a sudden there's you were elbow deep inside your own sister joke laying right there. And
Not even in the fun
and
way.
it's the worst possible time. And I'm dealing with a Hikata.
For me, when Rodney, when you talk about how you're the cutest, and then Rodney just pops off, I'm cuter. That
Yeah, it just dispels all tension because it's like there is legitimately that look in Malice's eye where I'm gonna kill the bitch. I'm gonna kill the bitch right now. I'm cuter.
good, Rodney. I love you, Mom.
Rodney's so adorable. I
But-
love him so much.
I love Rodney, but Malice is literally wanting to kill Dana at this point.
Yep.
Because he knows what that chunk out of her arm means.
This whole thing with Malice and Dana, Rodney could see the tension building there, and he's like, you know what? I think I'm the cutest. Just to break that.
I love it. It was perfect. It was perfect.
Guys, we might have a first since I've been joining your table. There's an actual. I think there's going to be an actual winner in the audience favorite.
Oh, don't say that
Rodney
yet.
gonna take it.
Don't jinx us.
Why did you say it? Why did you bring their attention?
Why'd you bring their attention to it?
I'm sorry. I
They
just
ain't got
was
much
excited.
time left.
That's all good.
Yes,
We ain't got much
yes,
time
but I've
left.
done enough of these to know that they work like eBay.
They do. They snipe that. They snipe that shit so bad.
Somebody's gonna have to start sniping soon, or I see Rodney's taking this.
I mean, I'll take it.
Well. If you have channel points to spend, you can spend them, or you can spend bits, because that's acceptable too.
Well, a little over 100,000. Does that count?
No, you're a player. You cannot sway this vote, sir. I have infinite. I can sway this vote however I want.
Even if I vote for Rodney?
Right?
I mean,
We just can't vote on ourselves, right?
no, you can't vote in the
We can't
poll.
vote. We don't vote. We don't vote in the poll.
This is
We're
the
not in
audience's
audience. We're
favorite.
cast.
You have already
Yeah.
cast your vote for your favorite when it comes to the XP. It's the audience's turn. It's their
I mean,
participation
technically, I'm in the
trophy.
audience as well, so.
Well,
As
technically,
Raven said, if we could switch our points, it would be more beneficial to the two of us, because she's got 100,000 Derek channel points. I've got 100,000 of your points. She could play around with all the points she wanted.
yeah, but it doesn't work that way, sadly.
Look, cry.
I understand you were fishing for sympathy. You can look in the dictionary between shit and syphilis. That's where you will find my sympathy.
Huh?
I don't remember which movie that was, but oh, that was Major Payne.
Yes.
Yes, it took me a second to remember.
That's such a good
still,
movie.
I still argue it is the best Damon Wayans film ever made.
Only
It was amazing.
only about a minute left on the poll, y'all. Bits or channel points to sway it in your favor for your favorite.
Stop asking me to end up doing it. I'm not changing the vote.
If I
Thanks
find
again, CoffeeCat. This was a great session.
Oh, of course.
It was.
You
It was
are
so good.
You are the fresh blood. You are the new meat. that I have
oh my
to
god,
toy
I got
with.
an ad as soon as the poll was done.
Yep.
Rodney took it with Ravenstar
Rodney takes it.
contributing 4,000 channel points toward it.
Yeah.
God damn.
Right.
Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
Raven spent all the points she had.
Well, I appreciate all of you, my lovely players, for this lovely VTM game in Jackson, Mississippi. So we're gonna do a quick shout out to my good friend Derek, who raided in on us, as he does every week, for the for being a great dude.
Lies and filthy fucking slander.
No, it's not.
You know we love you.
We do. But yeah,
Your
Derek.
mother's a cankerous whore.
Derek, why don't you give us a bit of an idea what we're going to look forward to tomorrow on Drawing on the Macabre?
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I'm going to be here getting some commissions done, as I have some commission work coming in my way. We're going to be doing a background scene specifically tied into a previous commission. We also have a challenge commission, which I still need to end up finishing up. Well, you might have caught it earlier on today, but we're going to end up finishing that up. We also have a Toreador piece we need to end up finishing. I figure between those three pieces, we're going to be pretty far set, as well as maybe some more surprises along the way. Who knows? You're going to have to tune in to find out.
Well, I done fucked up the whole scene, but
they got the audio. You can follow me at twitch.tv/macabre-derek, no space, and just end up having a fun old time with all the, well, filthy degenerates that I carry around in the mosh pit.
Of course.
We're not safe.
I completely understand. Well, thank you to my players for again showing up this week. And don't forget, everybody, we still have a YouTube channel that you can go and subscribe to that would be a lovely thing for you all to do, because when we hit 100 subscribers, of course, we'll have our own vanity URL, and I don't have to use a bit.ly anymore. So go ahead and do that. And, CoffeeCat Presents on YouTube, as you're either here or you're on Twitch, which you should be on both. But I forgot to give you a little shout out also, Derek, because I forget that I don't have a mod here today. But that is the link to our good friend Macabre Derek. And so, with that being said, everything that you need for social media, everything you need to know for commissions, because I do those too, Caffeine Fix will be tomorrow at around 7 Central, in which case I'll probably be doing actually some D&D style content, in which I'm going to be doing more illustrations and map design and things of that sort for the upcoming D&D game that I have put a casting call out on my Discord, so that anyone who is indeed interested, it's looking like we're going to do an evening time for that, because Thursdays again are my only days off during the week. And so, starting in July, around July 7th, is going to be the session 0 for that campaign. So be on the lookout on YouTube for that as well, because that is also going to have VODs posted to YouTube as well. So you definitely want to make sure that you catch that. But that does it for us here in the CoffeeCat Presents land. And I hope you all will join us next week with more in the War in the Soul City, as we find out what happens to Mercy. So, say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
I don't want to go. I want
I
to
still
go.
think I'm the cutest.
Nah, y'all. Somebody's gonna die.
Help.